Hey everyone, Justin with AmericanMuscle.com here, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing the LED Halo factory style headlights available for all 05 to 09 Mustangs equipped with the factory halogen headlights. Now these 5-star rated LED Halo headlights will be a great option for the early S197 owners out there who might be looking to upgrade the appearance of their stock lights with some modern and bright halo accents, while at the same time adding a slightly stealthier look thanks to the combination of the black housings with that slightly smoked lens. Now me personally, I'm a big fan of these headlights because they combine the retro OE look but with some of the modern flair in regards to both the halos and the smoke lenses. Now, let's be honest here guys, I would say a part of the early S197 charm was the OG throwback headlights that really did help nail down that retro look of the 60s Mustangs. Now the fact that these hold on to that original recipe with that modern flair or modern technology is definitely a big plus in my book. But let's get into these halos here a little bit more guys, and as you can see again at first glance, they do look extremely similar to the factory lights, save for things like the aggressive smoke lens, along with a durable matte black ABS housing with that chrome reflector style headlight right in the factory location. However, it's what's surrounding that headlight or the reflector that really separates these from like a more run-of-the-mill stock option. And of course, we are referring to the LED halo accent that does illuminate with a bright white light whenever your headlights or your parking lights have been switched on. Now the headlights do not come equipped with any brand new bulbs, so just something to keep in mind there. You can either transfer over your stockers or use this as an opportunity to upgrade. Now the headlights have been given both the DOT and the SAE stamp of approval with that dark smoke lens, which is always nice to point out. And that's just going to allow these for use in all 50 states. Now the lights do have an overwhelmingly positive rating here on the site, a nearly perfect rating that is, with a ton of customer submitted images. So I highly encourage you guys to check out those images if you haven't done so already. Read up on some of the customer reviews, as it's always a great way to help narrow down your choice when you're looking to make a switch here on the site. Now, your price point for the halos will live right around that low $200 mark here, which does place these, I would say, in the middle of the price spectrum when considering an LED option for your ride. And now we do want to shift gears and segue into the install, guys, and the site's going to call this pretty solid 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here. At least 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more, but depends on how fast you like to work. But now to shine a little bit more light on the install, pun intended, here's our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
All right, for this install you would need a ratchet, a 3/8 extension, 10mm socket, a 3/8 to 1/4 adapter, a 5.5mm socket, Phillips head screwdriver, trim tool, pliers, and wire strippers. All right, today we're going to install headlights on our Mustang, but first we're going to watch a video on the install, and then we'll meet right back here to install the new headlights.
So for this install, we're going to have to pop off our upper radiator cover and our front bumper. It's a pretty simple process. I'm going to walk you through it, so let's get started. I'm going to start by using my clip panel tool to remove the 6 push pins that hold the upper rad cover in. Then I'll pull the pins out and pull the rad cover off. Next, I'm going to take a 10mm socket on my ratchet and remove the 2 bolts on either side of the front bumper at the top. Next, I'm going to use a Phillips head to remove the 3 screws in the inner wheel well liner to gain access to the 2 nuts that are behind the wheel well liner, and I'm going to do this on both sides. With my wheel liner pulled back out of the way, I have access to the 2 10mm nuts here on the inside of the bumper. So I'm going to take my 10mm socket on my ratchet and remove those. And now I can do the same exact thing on the other side. So we're just about ready to pull our front bumper off, but before we can do this, there's still a couple screws on the bottom, and there are some lights on either side of the bumper that need to be removed. There's 2 light sockets on either corner. I'm just gonna twist them out and remove them from the bumper, and then I can pull my bumper off. And now I'll just do the same thing on the other side. So now I'm just gonna use a 5.5mm socket and remove the 4 screws at the bottom of the bumper. So now I'm ready to pull my bumper away from my vehicle. While I do so, I'm going to unhook my 2 fog lights as I'm pulling everything out. Next, I'm just going to use my 10mm socket again to remove the 3 bolts that hold the headlight into place, and then I will disconnect the headlight connector from the back. There's 1 at the top and there's 2 at the bottom.
All right, first off, to get our headlight ready for install, we have to do a couple things. First, we have to take the old bulb out of the old headlight and insert it into the new headlight. Just put it in until it locks in, and then turn it right. It'll lock into place. Next, we have to do the wiring. Now, when it comes to the wiring, there are connectors that come with the kit. We have our set up a little differently because we have installed these multiple times. But for these connectors that come, you put both the wires in the provided holes and just clamp it down. For what we're going to do today, we're going to install these 2 spade connectors for the female ends. We're going to start by stripping the wires back a little bit. Sliding the wire in our connector. Taking a pair of pliers and crimping it down. Do the same thing for the other wire. And then we can repeat the same process for the other headlight. All right, first what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our new headlight and we're gonna plug the stock harness into the headlight bulb. Once that's in, we can seat our headlight into place and get our 1 bolt, 1 10mm bolt at the top, just to hold that in place so we can thread the bottom 2 in. Now that we have that held up out of the way, we can take our wiring. We have ours wired into the parking light. So what you'll do, you take the power and ground to ground. Now that that's connected, we can tighten down our 3 10mm bolts. All right, and now that we have the wiring done, we can tighten our 3 10mm bolts. Then we can repeat the same process on the other headlight. All right, now that we have our headlights in and our wiring done, we can just pick up our bumper, rest it on the front support here, so we can install all of our lights. All right, now that we got our bumper hanging up here, we can plug in our fog light and our marker light. Just take the light, find the spot, and then make our half-right turn, and lock into place. Same thing with the marker light. And then we can do the same with our grill light. Then we repeat the same process for the other 3 lights on the other side. All right, now we're ready to reinstall our bumper. we're going to take our bumper, push it over, and we're going to line these two studs up here with the two holes on the bumper, slide up into place. And then we can tighten down this top bolt up here. All right, now we can take our 10mm bolt, 10mm socket, and tighten that down. All right, now we can move to the two 10mm nuts in the wheel well. All right, now we're going to tighten our two 10mm nuts on the studs. They're about right here and here on the inside of the wheel well. Take our ratchet, the 10mm socket and extension. All right, we can repeat the same process on the other side. All right, now we're going to reinstall our wheel liner. Just pull the bumper back just slightly so you can get it back into place. And we can start our bottom Phillips head screw and tighten that one down. We can start our other two screws. And then we'll need to turn the wheel the other way to tighten them. All right, now with the wheel turned all the way to the left, we can get a screwdriver on these Phillips head screws and tighten them down. And repeat the same process on the other side. All right, now we're going to go underneath and reinstall our four 5.5mm bolts. All right, now we can install our plastic radiator cover and reinstall the 6 push pins that we took out. All right, and that wraps up our install of our headlights for the LED Halo factory style headlights, matte black housing with smoke lenses for the 2005-2009 Mustang with factory halogen headlights, excluding the GT500. And remember, for everything Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.